How well do you know American sports? Question 1. Which sport is known as America's pastime? Answer B. Baseball. Fun fact, baseball has been called America's pastime since the 19th century. Question 2. In basketball, how many points is a shot made from beyond the three-point line worth? Answer C. 3 points. Fun fact, the three-point line was introduced in the NBA in 1979. Question 3. Who is known as the Sultan of SWAT in baseball? Answer A. Babe Ruth. Fun fact, Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs during his career. Question 4. Which NFL quarterback is known as the GOAT, greatest of all time? Answer B. Tom Brady. Fun fact, Brady has won 7 Super Bowls, the most by any player. Question 5. Which city hosted the 1996 Summer Olympics? Answer A. Atlanta. Fun fact, the 1996 Olympics celebrated the 100th anniversary of the modern Olympic Games. How well do you know famous U.S. landmarks? Question 1. Which landmark is a giant copper statue holding a torch in New York Harbor? Answer B. Statue of Liberty. Fun fact, the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France in 1886 and symbolizes freedom and democracy. Question 2. Which national park is famous for its towering granite cliffs like El Capitan? Answer B. Yosemite. Fun fact, Yosemite is home to some of the tallest waterfalls in North America. Question 3. Where is the Lincoln Memorial located? Answer B. Washington, D.C. Fun fact, the Lincoln Memorial honors the 16th president and is famous for Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Question 4. The Golden Gate Bridge connects San Francisco to which nearby city? Answer D. Marin County. Fun fact, the Golden Gate Bridge opened in 1937 and was the longest suspension bridge of its time. Question 5. Which landmark is famous for giant carved faces of 4 U.S. presidents? Answer A. Mount Rushmore. Fun fact, the faces carved are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. How well do you know popular American music hits? Question 1. Who sang the hit song Thriller? Answer B. Michael Jackson. Fun fact, Thriller is one of the best-selling albums of all time. Question 2. Which female artist is known as the Queen of Pop? Answer A. Madonna. Fun fact, Madonna has sold over 300 million records worldwide. Question 3. Complete this lyric from Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Sweet Caroline, good times never seemed so... Answer C. Good. Fun fact, this song is a sing-along favorite at many U.S. sports events. Question 4. Which band sang Livin' on a Prayer? Answer A. Bon Jovi. Fun fact, Livin' on a Prayer became a defining anthem of the 1980s rock scene. Question 5. Which artist won the most Grammy Awards in one night with 11 wins? Answer B. Michael Jackson. Fun fact, MJ achieved this record in 1984. How well do you know Hollywood movies? Question 1. Which movie features the quote, "May the Force be with you"? Answer B. Star Wars. Fun fact, the phrase became a legendary part of sci-fi culture since 1977. Question 2. In which movie does a young girl follow a white rabbit down a hole? Answer B. Alice in Wonderland. Fun fact, the story was first written by Lewis Carroll in 1865. Question 3. Who played Jack Dawson in Titanic? Answer B. Leonardo DiCaprio. Fun fact, Titanic was the highest-grossing film for many years. Question 4. Which actor is famous for playing Indiana Jones? Answer A. Harrison Ford. Fun fact, Indiana Jones first appeared on screen in 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Question 5. Which film won the Oscar for Best Picture in 2020? Answer B. Parasite. Fun fact, Parasite was the first non-English language film to win Best Picture. Question 6. Who has won the most Academy Awards for Best Actor? Answer C. Daniel Day-Lewis. Fun fact, he has won 3 Best Actor Oscars. How well do you know famous U.S. inventions? Question 1. Who invented the light bulb? Answer C. Thomas Edison. Fun fact, Edison held over 1,000 patents in his lifetime. Question 2. Who is credited with inventing the first practical telephone? Answer B. Alexander Graham Bell. Fun fact, Bell made the first successful telephone call in 1876. Question 3. What American invention revolutionized computing in the 1970s and 80s? Answer B. Personal computer. Fun fact, the first personal computers paved the way for today's digital world. Question 4. Who invented the airplane? Answer A. The Wright brothers. Fun fact, the Wright brothers flew the first powered airplane in 1903. Question 5. Which invention is credited to creating the modern hamburger? Answer C. Louis Lasson. Fun fact, Louis Lasson is said to have served the first hamburger in 1900 in Connecticut. Question 6. Who invented the Coca-Cola soda? Answer C. John Pemberton. Fun fact, Coca-Cola was created in 1886 as a medicinal tonic. Question 7. Which American inventor is known for developing the radio? Answer B. Nikola Tesla. Fun fact, Tesla's work on radio waves was foundational to wireless communication. How well do you know iconic American foods? Question 1. Where was the hamburger believed to have been first popularized in the U.S.? Answer C. Connecticut. Fun fact, Louis Lasson is credited with creating the first hamburger sandwich in New Haven, CT, around 1900. Question 2. Which city is famous for its deep dish style pizza? Answer B. Chicago. Fun fact, Chicago deep dish pizza is known for its thick crust and lots of cheese. Question 3. Which pie is considered America's traditional dessert, especially during Thanksgiving? Answer C. Pumpkin pie. Fun fact, pumpkin pie is a staple in Thanksgiving celebrations across the U.S. Question 4. What food is traditionally served at baseball games in the U.S.? A. Hot dogs. Fun fact, hot dogs have been a popular baseball snack since the early 1900s. Question 5. Which company is known for its classic cola drink invented in the U.S.? Answer B. Coca-Cola. Fun fact, Coca-Cola was first sold as a soda fountain drink in Atlanta, Georgia in 1886. How well do you know American history highlights? Question 1. In which year was the Declaration of Independence signed? Answer A. 1776. Fun fact, the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776. Question 2. Who was the first president of the United States? Answer B. George Washington. Fun fact, Washington is often called the father of his country. Question 3. Which war was fought between the North and South regions of the U.S. from 1861 to 1865? Answer B. Civil War. Fun fact, the Civil War ended slavery and preserved the Union. Question 4. Which president is famous for the Emancipation Proclamation that freed slaves? Answer A. Abraham Lincoln. Fun fact, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 during the Civil War. Question 5. What amendment to the Constitution granted women the right to vote? Answer C. 19th Amendment. Fun fact, it was ratified in 1920 after decades of women's suffrage activism. How well do you know popular TV shows in the USA? Question 1. Which TV show featured a group of 6 friends living in New York City? Answer B. Friends. Fun fact, Friends aired for 10 seasons and remains a fan favorite worldwide. Question 2. Which TV series is set in the fictional town of Springfield? Answer C. The Simpsons. Fun fact, The Simpsons is the longest-running scripted TV show in the U.S. Question 3. Which singing competition show helped launch the careers of Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood? Answer B. American Idol. Fun fact, American Idol debuted in 2002 and changed the reality TV landscape. Question 4. Which show features contestants trying to survive on a deserted island? Answer B. Survivor. Fun fact, Survivor first aired in 2000 and popularized reality competition format. Question 5. Which show features a chemistry teacher turning into a drug kingpin? Answer C. Breaking Bad. Fun fact, Breaking Bad is widely regarded as one of the greatest TV dramas ever. Can you name these U.S. sports legends? Question 1. Which basketball legend is known for wearing jersey number 23 and playing for the Chicago Bulls? Answer D. Michael Jordan. Fun fact, Jordan won 6 NBA championships and is considered one of the greatest athletes of all time. Question 2. Which current NBA player is nicknamed King James? Answer B. LeBron James. Fun fact, LeBron has played for the Cavaliers, Heat, and Lakers and is still dominating. Question 3. Who has won the most Super Bowl rings as a quarterback? Answer C. Tom Brady. Fun fact, Brady has won 7 Super Bowls, more than any NFL team. Question 4. Which team is known as America's team in the NFL? Answer Answer B. Dallas Cowboys. Fun fact, the Cowboys earned the nickname in the 1970s due to their nationwide popularity. Question 5. Who is known as the Home Run King with 762 career home runs? Answer C. Barry Bonds. Fun fact, Bonds set the MLB record in 2007 and it still stands today.